Yes, hello again, Minister. We crossed swords over a very good breakfast in Strasbourg last week. My name's Stuart Agnew. I'm a new member. I'm a new kid on the block here, representing the UK Independence Party. I obviously want repatriation of our fishing industry in Britain because it is a disgrace what's happened, I think, over the last 30 years. We're a country, 63 million people. Our national dish is fish and chips. We love fish. We're surrounded by sea. And yet, you look up the coast and all our fishing boats have gone. Something has gone very wrong indeed. And there's no doubt, you're keen. You really want to make progress on this. You know, you've got a youthful disposition, an energetic man, you've got a good physique, you know, you've got it all there, but you're up against something new now. It's called co-decision. And I think co-decision is a euphemism for no decision. Because I'm a farmer, and there's a huge difference between fishing and farming. In farming, we invest and we sow. We sow a crop and we harvest it. Fishing, nobody sows anything. They all go out to try and get a share of a common harvest. And so throughout this committee, everyone is banging their own drum for their own slice of the cake. That's why I think it'll be very, very difficult to get a decision in your time frame. We've got to talk about discards. This is an absolute disgrace. Again, I'm a farmer. If the fish that are taken out of the sea are too many for human consumption, in the farmyard, we've got a very, very good home for them, either as animal feed or fertiliser. And we've been wasting this resource for 30 years. I wondered if you're prepared to name the countries whose ministers will insist on carrying on with this. Because it's down to a vote in the Council in the end. I don't think anyone in this committee wants discards. There's another aspect of this fishing, this CAP, the principle of handing large sums of money to the governments of African and Asian countries for permission to fish in their waters. Many people feel that this is what's encouraging piracy because those local people who used to fish are told you can't fish here anymore, and so they resort to piracy as an income. Sorry, Chairman, I'll very quickly say that in this committee there are no representatives from landlocked countries. There's about 5 of them in the European Union, I think. But in the plenary session, those MEPs will vote on a fisheries policy. What's your view on that? And on a scale of 10, how would you rate the success of the common fisheries policy over the last 30 years? Thank you very much. Sorry, Chairman, if I went on a bit. Mr.
Agnew or Stuart, thank you for your honesty. I don't agree with you on lots of things, but there you go. I hope we can have a I hope we can have a straightforward discussion. But I hope that the ambition that I've outlined is something that you'll work with me on, everybody here in committee. And as I said last week when we met, if people have specific issues of concern that they want to raise, feel free to contact my office or me directly. And we'll try and deal with some of those. But ultimately, my role here is to act as chair of a council and presidency of council here, and to work with the Parliament and with your committee to try and find common agreement on what is a pretty complex reform process that involves a huge amount of politics as well as everything else. But we will try and progress significantly over the 6 months despite all of those challenges.
Mr. Agnew.
Yes, Chairman, just quickly, obviously coming from the United Kingdom, where we are net contributors to this budget, we are interested in what auditors have to say. And the auditors say there's been an increase in the error rate and payments are substantially affected by error. I mean, this is quite serious. The auditors themselves say, well, the error rate is 7.7%, but it includes another department, the rural development. And I would ask the Court of Auditors, wouldn't it be better to do these things department by department, rather than allow it to be fudged with some sort of an excuse? Sorry? Sorry, I thought somebody was asking me a question. The other point of interest there is that the auditors say the European Fisheries Fund has been abused to allow investments leading to more catches being taken, and also public aid is being used to create more capacity. And the word abused is quite serious. The Commission, however, are saying, well, they think this is an overstatement. Well, who is right? We do need to know. Thank you.
No hay ninguna
No other requests for the floor? And would the Commission like to take the floor again? Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I think it's important to be very clear what we're talking about in relation to this overcapacity issue. In fact, what the court found was in relation to Article 25.2 of the EFF regulation, which provides that investments on board which increase the ability of a vessel to catch fish, which is not the same thing as capacity, which is measured in kilowatts and which is measured in gross tonnage. That was what the court found, that there were a number of these investments, a number of member states were financing these investments without doing any ex-ante checks to make sure that the investment that was being proposed for financing would increase the ability of the vessel to catch fish. We identified the member states that were implementing this measure. Firstly, not all member states were implementing Article 25.2. Secondly, we asked these member states to report on all investments that they had made. Thirdly, we gave them clear guidance as to how they should how they should assess these investments. Fourthly, we asked them to reassess the investments and to come back to us and to tell us the results. We then evaluated the results that they sent to us, and we did this in a horizontal fashion across all member states. The amount of potential ineligible expenditure that had been identified was about 10.5 million euros. That's since the beginning of the programming period. We went back to basically year one in this exercise. The result has been that we have cleared some investments, we have not cleared some other investments. Those investments which we haven't cleared are either being withdrawn, have been withdrawn, or will be withdrawn. And that explains that this is a dynamic situation, so the findings of the court are being addressed. That's the way that we work. If we find this ineligible expenditure, which has been certified to the Commission by a member state, then we ask them to decertify that expenditure. And this is what takes place. And indeed, what we did was, for all payments related to investments on board, we suspended them. We didn't continue to make payments. And it is only when a member state cleans up, makes its analysis, and also amends its eligibility guidelines that we resume the payments for this particular measure. So I think that's an important point of clarity, and that's why we say that to say that this severely increased overcapacity is for us an overstatement, and we will arrive at a situation where there will be no public funding which will have been given to vessels where the investments on board might increase overcapacity.
Bien, muchas gracias.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Webb.
Thank you, Chair. The technical difficulty in doing this was actually that all those facts about fisheries which could be found in the audit report, they were, to put it slightly drastically, they were put into the report according to a shotgun logic. You have them here and there all over the report, but you had to read it very carefully to find every single detail about fisheries. And I think Mr. Agnew is on the right track when it would be much easier for us if there would be a part of the audit report just concentrating on DG MAR and what they have been doing. That might be slightly overkill. I think what the Commission actually said now is showing that they aren't dragging their feet. And so even if we have some problems there, I think we should give them the credit of trying to improve their work. So I don't see really big and serious problems here. Then we have, of course, a ever-continuing debate of what's modernization and what is it is going to lead to. Because even if we do something on board a ship, something which is not actually related to fishing but making life slightly easier on board, that might actually lead to the crew being able to be on the sea longer. So I think there is a Finnish saying that some definitions are literally drawn into water, and getting all these things defined in a way which, under all the circumstances, will achieve result A or B, that's probably beyond what human beings are able to do. So we have to live with a certain indifference here. But generally speaking, I think what my colleagues here said, showing that in this respect the committee is actually going in the same one direction. What the Commission said is also in the same direction, and the Court of Auditors. So I think we could end this debate by saying that we seem to be pulling in the same direction, and that's good. Thank you.
Bien, muchas gracias.